Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
All right, welcome into a Thursday edition of the JP Peterson Show here. As we got lots to get to. We got a new lineup here for you as well. Nick Geddes from On3 Sports now will be joining us on Thursday as he's had a schedule adjustment, and Timmy will be joining us on Fridays. So good morning to you, Nick Geddes. How are you?
I mixed emotions, I guess, how I'm feeling this morning because we all saw what happened yesterday, and I know we're going to dive into that. But, yeah, doing as good as you possibly can after getting hit with news like that and coming off of Valentine's Day as well.
How was your Valentine's Day? I'll ask you about the positive stuff first.
I'm not a Valentine's Day guy.
Shocking development.
Shocking development, right?
Shocking development.
No, we went to that dog park that's underneath the Selman over there.
Yeah. Smelly.
What is it, Meridian or whatever?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan because there's no real grass, no water, not a huge fan.
Well, we went over there.
People never pick up the poo, like never.
Yeah, I picked up the poo. Riley dropped two.
Right. You double douche you?
Double douche in a bit, like 30 minutes. I picked them up. And then we went over to Fresh Kitchen and got pickup, and then took like over an hour to get home because this was all like around like 5-something, 6-something. Poor planning.
I'm just gonna say that. Yeah, that was not a good plan.
And by the way, the kicker,
for the most part.
Have you seen the movie Marley and Me?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I've never seen the movie. Casey had never seen the movie, and I don't know why we decided to watch this movie last night.
Mm-hmm. And
as an owner of a yellow lab, that movie should be illegal. It should be illegal for watching. When I tell you I was boo-hooing, legit.
Yeah.
Not a great movie to watch.
Yeah. What are you doing? That's a terrible plan for Valentine's Day.
Terrible plan.
By the way, I just have to show you this. We had a little photo shoot this morning.
Ooh.
She was just look at her hugging the pillow. Little Tally. So for those listening on radio, it's just a shot of Tally, the Wonder Dog, looking spry on her 7th birthday.
7th birthday.
It is her 7th birthday, yes. We always do it the day after Valentine's Day or around there. We don't want to do it on Valentine's Day. So, yeah, her 7th birthday. What is that, 49 in dog years?
Journalism majors are not math majors. So
hopefully we get at least 7 more. Yeah, big shout out to our friends at Blue Pearl who charged us $1,500 when she was a baby, telling me she had a heart murmur and she was going to die before she was 2.
Oh,
so shout out to the folks at Blue Pearl. You didn't get me for the other $5,000 though. Not a big fan.
We just come out of the gate with all this like sad news almost.
I know. I digress. And we got to get to the Kansas City stuff right off the top. It's this. I think you and all of us have always wondered, when's it going to happen, right? Every time I watch these huge parades, and I don't, it's not in the front of my mind, but it's always in the back of my mind. Like, when is this going to happen? When is this going to happen? And here we go in Kansas City. And boy, from the information that I've read, we as a community dodged a bullet. This could have been so much worse if not for the brave people that did not run away from the shooter, that tackled the shooter and got the gun. Didn't think twice. Someone with a live gun shooting people got about 12, 13 shots off, I think, and before they were tackled to the ground. And, the only thing that was missing was swift justice. I just wish there would have been some swift justice there, because now we got to put up with trials and spending all the money. We know who did it. We know who brought the guns. We know, just, pick up the gun, take care of business. I hate saying that, but, you just shot 13, 14 kids, killed one of them. I don't need a trial. Everybody saw it. Let's just take care of this right now. Someone pick up the gun and take care of it. Let's just be done with it. I mean, it's awful. It's freaking awful. And I'm sick of it. And, then here comes the blame game. Is it the guns? Is it the people? It's like, all I know is before huge spike in psychotropic drugs for young children and endless video games of people shooting people in the most realistic manner. We didn't have any of these. And by the way, we had more guns per capita back in the 60s and 70s than we have now. So the idea that it's just the presence of guns as opposed to the presence of shoot up video games that have been with us for how long now since this started, and all these antidepressant drugs that these kids are taking. You know, if you want to look inside the real problem, folks, if you want to really look inside the big problem, let's start with Big Pharma. We'll start with Big Pharma. Then we'll start with Hollywood and video games and all those other things. Nobody wants to talk about those things. They want to blame other things for political reasons. And I'm not saying that's the sole reason, but for my money, I've lived in a world where we didn't have this. And I lived in a world where we do. And I see the changes in the world. And if you've ever played, and Nick, you've played a bunch of these games, it didn't make you go out and shoot up people. I'm not saying it does everybody, but it desensitizes kids. My kids played them. You know, the first time I played Call of Duty, I was like, what the hell is this? What? My God. And nobody talks about it. Nobody talks about it. It's just, you know, it's just, oh, yeah, you just pull the trigger and the blood comes out. What?
I guess my experience is different with it because, you see, my mom did not allow me to play these games when I was a kid. Like, I couldn't even have like rated T games.
Way to
I
go,
couldn't
Mom.
even have rated T games. Now, I have played these games, obviously, as I've gotten older. I mean, I don't know if I don't know the correlation to that, you know, necessarily, but I will just say, like, to the whole situation that happened yesterday and how this continues to happen over and over and over. And like you said, it's at the point now where you see a large group of people and it's in the back of your mind. Yeah. It's in the back of my mind anytime I go anywhere. I go to the movie theater, I'm always looking around me.
Yeah. You
always doing that.
You better be.
You go to a church. I mean, it's the same thing. I mean, we had a shooting at a church. What was it in Texas on Sunday, I think?
Yes.
We've had since Monday or since Sunday, I can think of like 3 mass shootings we had. I think we had one yesterday, legit in Miami Gardens too, at a mall on top of this. So it's just, it's sad and unfortunate that the country we live in, that we all love to live in, we have some deep, deep issues, deep-rooted issues. And what I hate the most,
it's only getting worse.
It's only getting worse. And what I hate is something like this happens, and then everybody, you know, gets on the X platform, and everybody's got their opinion on what needs to change, and it turns into everybody just bickering at each other,
hating
about
each other,
a bunch of stuff that honestly nobody's wrong necessarily.
It all contributes. It all contributes. There are too many guns, that's for sure. Yeah. But unfortunately, you can't just snap your fingers and get rid of guns.
Yeah.
If you try to do that, only the bad people will have guns. That's just idiocy.
Yeah.
You got to have some brains when you tackle this problem. But yes, too many guns, too many video games, too many psychotropic drugs, no law and order whatsoever in these big cities anymore. There's so many issues that we have, and you know, and this is not racist or anything else, but when the rest of the world is emptying their jails and their insane asylums and sending all the worst people up through an open center, when we have gang members, as Thomas Casper pointed out, when we have gangs now there's gangs coming together in New York and Boston and the New York corridor. All these MS-13 people and everybody else that is coming, a lot of these people are just coming here to work. I get all that. I'm not painting them with a broad brush, but this is why you have border policies. This is why you have a border. This is why you're supposed to check and see who's coming in. So when there's, you know, hundreds of thousands of them that are gang members of MS-13 and every other gang in Latin America coming here unfettered, we have no idea what they're doing, where they're here, getting money from the government. We're paying for our tax dollars are going to fund these gang members coming to America. I mean, what the F are we doing? And we've got Mayorkas is up there sitting telling me every time he goes into a meeting with President Biden, his biggest challenge is he has to be prepared for it because he's so smart and on the ball. The president is so on top of all these issues that you have to prepare for days to go into a meeting with Joe Biden. This is our idiot Mayorkas who sits there and says, "Oh yeah, the border is safe, nothing wrong here," and then he tells you that. I mean, my God, where have we gone? And he says it to a journalist on a Sunday show, and the journalist just sits there and goes, "Oh, really? He's that good?" Like you honestly believe anything these people are saying? and you don't challenge what the guy just said, that Biden is that on top of everything? I'm not trying to hate on Joe Biden here. Or just politics in general. Look at what's going on. Look at the buffoons that are running this country. It's unbelievable. And Republicans are voting for the same crap. It's not Democrat or Republican. It's the whole damn uniparty.
Well, that's what I was going to kind of
morons.
Yeah.
And this is what you get. This is shootings, and it's going to get worse. Can you imagine the gang members that are now coming together here in America with less? And what does Chicago do? Oh, let's just get rid of 900 police positions, and let's get rid of our shot tracker that tells us exactly when shots are fired. Let's get rid of that because it's anti-minority. I mean, just the stupidest things you could possibly do are what our leaders are doing, and this is what leads to all this bull crap that's going on right now. Sorry for the rant, but I'm just sick of it. And this is not political on one side or the other. They're all part of it. Well, and it's disgusting what they're doing to the American people.
And I hate that these discussions, and that's what I was going to say, all the bickering yesterday, it seems like it's inevitable that it ends up becoming political, and everybody takes shots at each other. Yes. And it's just a symptom of what's wrong with what's going on. And it's, like I said, you know me. I take myself out of political stuff. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to be around it. And the reason why is because I hope everybody wakes up to the fact whenever everybody's saying that there needs to be a solution, and everybody's calling on the leaders in Washington to do this. Take in mind, it doesn't matter what affiliation they have. Exactly. They don't care about you. They don't care about your safety. They are not real people that deal with real life issues.
They have private security. And they have guns.
And that's why I don't trust any politician, and I don't trust anybody in government. Maybe that makes me a problem. I don't care. That's just the way I feel about it. So when everybody's telling me, "Oh, we need to pressure the politicians and this and that," they're not going to do anything. This has been going on for years. Yesterday, I think to the day was like 6 years to the day of the Sandy Hook shooting, and it's happening again. Or not the Sandy Hook. I can't even keep track of them. Not Sandy Hook. Forgive me.
Which one does it doesn't matter. Right.
Yeah,
it's
the ones down south, obviously. Children. Yeah. Yes, I can't even keep track of them anymore. Parkland. Yeah. It's been happening for years. Everybody puts out their blanket statements on Twitter about this has to end. You know, we need to protect our children. We need to do this. We need to do that. And nothing ever changes. Nothing ever gets done.
It's funny you mention this, Nick, because this is the point. We get together on Twitter, and here's the thing. We all want the same thing. Safety for our families and our children, right? We want to feel safe. We all want the same thing. But then what do? They have us bickering at each other on how to do it. Yep. So they've divided us, the media's divided us because this person thinks this, and this person, you got to hate that person. You got to hate that person because he's anti-gun. You got to hate this person because he's pro-gun but wants to have more law enforcement and more people and big pharma to be targeted and these video games to be targeted. And it's like you people are arguing about the same. Like if you do a little bit on all those issues and come together, we might make some headway here. But instead, we're too busy bickering with each other. It's the psyops that are going on social media and everything else to divide our country. The ridiculousness of so many things that are going on is being executed to perfection. And the media, yes, the media that I worked in for so long, corporate media, is the biggest problem because they set the foundation for all of it. They allow so much of this bull crap to go unopposed. And it's not the way it used to be. We used to have a fourth estate that was a watchdog on these politicians and would bring them forward when they did misdeeds, and they would be voted out. That's the way the system, simplistic as that is supposed to work. But when you have a fourth estate that's corrupted and in the media owned by these globalist corporations and every politician owned by these globalist corporations, what do you got? You got no accountability whatsoever. You had zero accountability, and everybody can do whatever they have. And make an analogy over to football. When you've got a head of a team that's not holding the people accountable, what happens? It's complete anarchy. You could have the most talented team in the world, but when none of the players are being held accountable, it's complete chaos. It's complete chaos. Yeah. You get the New Jersey Nets. It doesn't matter how much talent you have. If you have no leadership and everybody's doing their own thing, you got nothing. And that's where we are.
Yeah. Like I said, I mean, your heart obviously goes out to the victims here and everybody. I mean, what was it? 15 children in total? Or something like some crazy number like that who were who were wounded from this. I mean, this is children. I mean, think about it. These kids who were probably so excited to go to a parade. You know, they didn't have to go to school. It seemed like everybody, best day of their life, that they were going to make memories with their families and everything to celebrate this dynasty that took place, and for a bunch of scumbags, essentially. I don't even know if that's even harsh enough to even call it.
No.
To go over and take over this whole thing. You know, I had all this great sound that I wanted to play today, and I don't even want to touch it because the parade is tainted. You know, I wanted to talk about how Travis Kelce stole the show, trying to sing Garth Brooks and everything. I wanted to be able to laugh about that.
Well, we might have to do that anyway.
And maybe at some point, maybe at some point we'll get to that.
Yeah, I want to get back, because if all we do is come on here and bitch and moan, the bastards win. You know, we're going to go forward with our lives. We're going to go forward with the wonder of sports when it presents itself, the good stuff that happens. We're going to go forward with that. We're not going to cut it just because these bastards want to steal our joy. We're not going to do that. We have to keep going. We got to keep going, because I'm going to tell you, this ain't going to be the end of it. It's only going to get worse as we head towards the election season. Yeah. It's only going to get worse.
And listen to what we're saying.
Worse than anything you ever imagined. By the way.
Listen to having to say this is our reality.
Yeah,
it just is. It's an uncomfortable truth that nobody wants to talk about until it actually happens.
Yeah,
this is our reality as a nation. These are the things that we deal with. Mm-hmm. And everybody turns a blind eye to it. I don't care about your X statement about how to fix it from a politician's stand. I don't care. Nothing is going to get done. And that's the worst part, is it. We all know it, that nothing's going to get done. This is going to continue to happen. I mean, by the whole definition of mass shootings, which I think is like 4 or more people that die in a shooting, we've had like 50 of them since the year began. 50.
And it's only
it just continues to happen. And like I said, it's unfortunate that everywhere you go, it doesn't matter if it's church, it doesn't matter if it's a movie, a parade, a mall, anywhere where there's a social gathering, you have to always be on the lookout for something like this to happen. You can't even just enjoy it in peace. And that's the most unfortunate part of the reality that we live in today.
If you took a graph, this is the last thing I'll say. If you took a graph, okay, and I've seen this graph, by the way. If you took a graph and go, and on one line is mass shootings, okay, in America. All right. And then the other line is prescriptions for psychotropic drugs for children, by the way. And then violent video games. All right. And mass shootings, you would see them go like this. The line goes like this. And they're all 3 together. Now, if you want to go availability of guns in mass shootings, the line goes like this. This way. It's per capita. This way, place stays pretty steady, okay? And then your mass shootings go up, everything goes up. The only thing that is incongruent are those 3 things. But nobody wants to talk about it. You know why? Because it's Hollywood. Hollywood makes a ton of money off those video games and all the violence that they put in all the movies. Every movie you see, nothing but people getting killed and violence. But don't show sex. Don't show people making love. We can murder people as much as possible, but don't show. That's too racy. Think about that for a second. Just think. I'm not sitting here promoting porn. I'm just saying, think about what we do, right? That these horrific scenes you see in movies and TV that kids are watching, right? Those things in Hollywood, all that stuff, psychotropic drugs, all in concert. It's awful. All right, we'll move on. We'll move on. So to the parade, my friend, to the parade. And the greatness that are the Kansas City Chiefs. It seems silly to just move on like this, but we're going to do it. I thought it was fun yesterday before the shooting. It was fun. And I will say this, as much as Travis Kelce is overexposed, and I mean that in the largest way, they have fun with it. I got to give the Chiefs credit. They have fun with it. And then you also have to recognize their greatness and what they've been able to do, which also underscores the greatness of the Buccaneers win, by the way. Looks better and better every day. But I just, I got to tip my cap to them, especially to Patrick Mahomes. They handle it well. They have fun with it. And it's hard to hate them. Like I hated the Patriots. I hated the Patriots much more. But these guys they're fun. I got to give it to them. If you want to play some of that, please feel free.
Yeah, I'll cue some of it up here for sure. But yeah, I mean, listen, Travis Kelce, I think, is a very, in general, and especially his brother Jason, just very fun, just very fun characters that I think you want in the league. And Mahomes, I mean, it's crazy. Like if your biggest complaint about Patrick Mahomes, and this is a real thing, I'm not saying this is me necessarily, but this is what people say. Oh, well, I find his brother very annoying. Oh, I find his wife very annoying. Like, if that's your biggest complaint, I mean, that has nothing to do with the actual guy. I mean, he's what you want from the ideal quarterback standpoint, maturity, clearly what he does on the field, being an ambassador for the community, all those things. And I think even with all he's accomplished, still a very down-to-earth guy. Some of these like top athletes, it feels like they are on this pedestal, like you can't touch them. I feel like Mahomes is not like that. He's a very different type of elite athlete. I don't know if you kind of see it the same way as I do, but he seems like a very approachable guy. Like he immediately, like, you know, after the Super Bowl, he's going to everybody's show. He's on McAfee's show. He's on ESPN doing an interview at like 6:00, taking time out of his day as they're trying to enjoy Disneyland. Yeah. And he answers every question. He gives his time. And you know, I'm not saying that's a requirement to do it or anything, but I personally appreciate seeing that.
No, not everybody. Brady didn't do that.
Yeah,
Brady didn't do that.
So to the point about, I mean, listen, the reality is people hate winners. They just do. Exactly. And that's a large part of the reason why I think people were tired of New England. And of course, they had some other stuff that went on. Yeah. That, you know, by the way, I think today
winners get
tomorrow we're going to find out all the dirt on that, by the way.
Exactly.
On the Apple doc, which looks very juicy, by the way.
What was this now?
The big multi-part series about the Patriots dynasty and how it ended. Brady, Belichick, and Kraft are all on record. That's coming out tomorrow on Apple TV.
Who is it?
Yeah, and there's already been some excerpts coming out, and there was one about Brady where he essentially said, and I'm kind of paraphrasing the quote, like, I was a free agent, and it didn't matter if I wanted to play to 50 or not. I was not signing up to go back to there after everything we had done. He was not going to do it. So we might get some true insight, I guess, as to how that ended. So I'm going to be waiting for that tomorrow. But
the most cleansed, media cleansed athlete in the world and controlled, Tom Brady. If we ever get the real truth, I'll be shocked. But I'll watch. It's
going to be interesting because Bill and Robert Kraft are also on this documentary and a lot of former players. So
I have to go like, all right, who produced the doc? Whose back pocket are they in? Is it, you know, I got to figure that out. Kraft, Brady, like whoever produces the documentary, whoever tells the story gets to tell their version of the story. It's not necessarily a true version. It's just their version of the story. So we'll see. I'm so skeptical. Isn't it horrible?
You always are skeptical.
Yeah. Well, I've lived a long life. Life of watching these bastards work.
It is actually, I just looked it up. It's the director of this thing is Matthew Hamachek. He directed the Tiger Woods documentary on HBO.
Oh, yeah.
Which I don't know if you saw that one, which was very enlightening, and they didn't leave anything out about the whole Tiger Woods story. So
no, they didn't. He was very thorough. All right. You got me now. See, that's what you got to do. You got to go do the research. So well done. Yeah, I'll watch for sure. Speaking of Tiger, before we play this, you see the new clothing line, Sunday Red?
It's hideous.
It's hideous. I love the logo.
I think it's awful. I think it's very similar to the Greg Norman shark logo that I see at Costco all the time. Shots fired? Maybe just a little bit.
Did you go Costco?
I did. Now listen, I love Costco. I love Costco, and I own some of those Greg Norman stuff because they're like $14.99 for polos, right. And I'm like, cool. Yeah. But no, I don't like the logo.
Quality, by the way, not bad quality.
Not bad quality. No. But no, I hate the logo. I barely can understand what it is.
I love the logo.
I hate that Sunday Red has been put in like 3 separate words.
That seems
and
it
just seems very boring. It's probably going to be super overpriced, and nothing's ever going to touch. Nothing's ever going to touch that TW Nike logo that he used for so many years. That was just the gold standard as far as I'm concerned. So
greatest logo in the world.
It's definitely the greatest logo for any athlete that has a brand with a company, in my opinion. Yeah. I mean, the Jordan logo, I guess, is probably number one, but the Tiger one's right there.
No, Tiger's right there. I think, if I go logos, brand logos, and I'll put everything in there, put your LV and everything in there. Like just the most historic one has to be the swoosh.
Oh,
the swoosh started it all.
The swoosh started it all, and then the Jordan built off of that.
Yeah, and then Air. By the way, I finally watched Air. Have you watched Air?
Oh, I've watched it like 3 times. Fantastic.
Oh, I'm so sorry it took me so long. I apologize to you, Ben Affleck, who, by the way, deserves an Emmy. The whole group does, the Dunk Kings. I'm just love them. That was so well done. That movie is so well acted. It's so well written. The speeches in that movie from forget the actress's name, from Jordan's mother, the woman who plays Jordan's mother, is just fantastic. And then Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, the fat Matt Damon, is so good. And by the way, I met Sonny Vaccaro a few times, and next time we'll have Z on next week. We'll talk about it.
Yeah. By the way, the actress's name is I looked it up here to get it right. Viola Davis.
Viola Davis. I thought that's who it was. I didn't want to say the wrong name, but she is obviously one of the great Oscar award winning, one of the greatest actresses of all time, and she just plays her so well because, you know, as the stories go, she was such a strong woman. She was in charge. She literally changed the way athletes are compensated. She was the first NIL person, name, image, and likeness. Michael Jordan was the first one to get a cut of the sales. Like that was, and I thought it was so well portrayed by all of the shoe companies and all the executives at the time. Were like, oh, no, we're not doing that, because they knew that was Pandora's box. They knew once they opened that box up that their profits were going down the crapper. Can you imagine how much money Nike would have made if they didn't have to pay Michael Jordan $400 million a year? $400 million. That's
what I'm saying. Like all these things that he's doing, whether it's owning the Hornets, whether it's
his
owning a
mom.
NASCAR team.
His mom
he doesn't have to do any of this.
And she tricked Sonny Vaccaro and Nike into doing it, thinking that the other companies were going to do it. Like it was just part of the deal. And they're like, okay, if we have to do it. And truth be known, you know, Nike, even though they gave that up, would do it again 100 times. Look how much money they've made off of Michael Jordan.
Right.
Everybody's making money.
Yeah. I'm sure the movie.
They wanted to keep it all for themselves. No players are ever getting any money.
Yeah. I'm sure the movie's over-dramatized. I'm sure the movie's over-dramatized, and there's somebody who follows this story more closely. It's going to tell me, well, that's not really accurate and all that stuff. It's a movie. It's Hollywood. It was great for what it was. It should have won an Oscar as far as I'm concerned.
Yes, absolutely. That movie, I don't think it won any awards. That's the best movie I've seen in forever.
Yeah, we're too busy giving the awards to these movies that nobody's ever heard of that, you need to like really sit down and concentrate and sit at crisscross applesauce to concentrate on.
That was like, and especially when you watch a movie and you know the outcome, like, I know he signs with Nike, but they create such drama throughout it. You're like, is he really going to, like, yeah, he's going to sign. We know this. But that's how good the movie is. It brings you in so far that you're doubting the outcome that you know is going to happen.
Right.
And it's like that when you can create drama in that situation, that's phenomenal writing, phenomenal producing, phenomenal everything. So,
kind of how I feel about the whole Miracle story. I think that movie is fantastic as well. I'll watch that every single year, and I know how the result's going to end, but it takes me on this like crazy ride, and it throws the drama in there and these little like stories in there.
Yes.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. And when you have a movie where you know the outcome and you still can create the drama, that was fantastic. So, yeah, a couple people, Thomas Casper jumping in here, says the Izod Lacoste is the mother of all logos. That was probably the first logo I remember. The Izod one, as far as a clothing line.
It's got to be long before I was on this earth.
Yes. Yeah. That was like late 70s, early.
I would imagine people said the same thing about what,
80s.
like, I'm just thinking, like, people probably said the same thing about Nautica, right? Because that's a logo that everybody kind of recognizes too.
Yeah. But yeah, Izod was probably when that was a European brand. Spalding, was one of the first, the cursive S was one of the first sports logos. Wilson, the W, that was on the tennis rackets. I'm trying to think of others, but yeah, I think where we've come to now, where Fanatics is like the only company.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I want to save that because we're going to have to dedicate a segment to that.
All right.
I have some thoughts.
All right. We got a big hockey game tonight. Finally, I haven't been back in Emily for like 3 weeks. I think it's been. We got the Colorado Avalanche coming to town tonight. The The Lightning coming off a big win over the Bruins. Bobby the Chief Taylor is going to join us. We're going to talk some hockey here. Deadline is coming up, and suddenly Julien Brisebois has $8.6 million to work with. So a lot of things changing in Lightning world. We'll talk to Bobby the Chief Taylor coming up next. We're brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. If you have any issues in the legal front, give them a call. Just go through the website, JEEVES lawgroup.com. You can call them. You can email them. Just tell them JP sent you. You get a free case evaluation, folks, and they are tremendous lawyers over there at the Jeeves Law Group. They've been doing this for a long, long time here locally. Scott has an office in St. Petersburg and in Tampa, so you can go to either one and meet a live human being, a real attorney who will sit down with you and give you a case evaluation for free. What more could you ask for? So if you have any legal help, legal questions, and they do it on a contingency basis, folks, so you don't have to walk in there with $10,000 in your pocket. You can walk in there with nothing in your pocket and maybe come out with $10,000 or more. It's the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. Back in 3 with the Chiefs. Stay with us. JP here for my friends at your local Synovus Bank, and I do mean friends, and I do mean local. One of the local managers in Tampa is John Acosta, big fan of the show, and I've known him for over 40 years. He's been in local banking since 1983. You talk about developing relationships. You don't stick around for that long unless you're doing things the right way and have a great reputation, and that's the focus company-wide at Synovus. Big enough to handle any complex international transaction, but small enough to answer the phone when you have an urgent question about your business or personal account. And for personal accounts, they have a very easy app that works great. You can do everything online. And for large or small businesses, you will get that personal touch and services to help build your business, taking your dreams and aspirations from the whiteboard to reality. We can make that happen. Let us show you how. For a get-acquainted meeting to open a business or personal account, just call John or go to synovus.com to find out where your local branch is.
All right, this is for all you guys who don't want to go to the gym and do 5,000 crunches. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, you can get on the new True Body machine where you can reduce fat and tone up your muscle. It's like doing 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Define your body as you see fit. True Body offers personalized muscle stimulation that delivers the equivalent of those 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Just get in touch with them at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Chris Lugo and the team over there will set you up on True Body and get amazing results. Non-invasive with comfortable and little to no pain and zero downtime. You can isolate and target those areas that you want to improve and treat multiple areas simultaneously. It's an amazing machine, so check it out at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com.
JP here for the Geddes Gordon Real Estate Group and our good friend Jane Geddes. Folks, simply put, there is nobody like Jane. Jane is a former LPGA two-time major championship winner. She was also vice president of talent relations at WWE. She also has a law degree from Stetson, so if Jane can drain a 10-footer to win the U.S. Open and stare down Hulk Hogan in the boardroom, you want Jane on your real estate team to not only negotiate the best deal, but find you the perfect home or investment property. And when you work with the Geddes Gordon Group, you become part of the real estate family and get concierge services that include expertly staging, marketing, and preparing your home for sale. Advice on golf properties. Hey, you might even get some golf tips. Many of their clients become friends long after the sale or purchase is completed. It's all part of the deal. So if you're looking for that perfect home or investment property or trying to get top dollar for your home, go with Jane Geddes and the Geddes Gordon Group because there's nobody like Jane. Call 813-485-6808 or go to geddesgordon.kw.com. That's GEDDES Gordon.kw.com. or call 813-485-6808.
Let's go! Right now. Back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Chris Lugo will be on the show tomorrow, answering all your medical questions. If you have all the crud that everybody's been going around, he'll give you some tips on how to boost up your immune system and fight it all off. So Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Go to the website, get your appointment right now. All right, we got Chief on. The Chief is aboard. What's up, Bobby the Chief Taylor, Bolts analyst, Valley Sun Sports. What's up? How are you, my friend?
I'm doing great, JP, and you?
We are good. We're ready to get back in our barn tonight. It's been 3 weeks since we've had a home game? It's crazy.
It sure seems like you've been a lot longer than that, but I guess not. No, it's been quite a while. I know from the break and then that. Geez, I'll tell you what, it looks like, okay, when does training camp start? We've been off for so long.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, listen, we got a great win over the Bruins the other night, which I think was almost a must win in that situation, right? The 2 losses in New York coming out of the break. You get the 2 points in Columbus, but that was kind of the measuring stick night that we wanted to see how this team was going to play moving forward. And I thought Vasilevsky played perhaps his best game. And as a team, I thought it was a fantastic team win to get those 2 points. What are your thoughts on what you saw on Tuesday night?
Yeah, Vasi was tremendous. You know what? And you know what, JP, the penalty kill was incredible.
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
Boston had 6 power plays, and they didn't get anything on them. They really limited the number of shots they had with the power plays, Boston. So those were the 2 areas. And Vasi, you know, I mean, he doesn't play like that. It's not a win. But the thing for me is that you got some really good penalty kill, and you got some really good goaltending. Vasi, to me, looks like vintage Vasi. He's that rest probably did him good, and I think those 2 games under his belt did it real well. Did good as well. So he looks like he's almost top-notch form now, which is great for the Lightning.
Yeah, it is. It's fantastic. And, you know, Sergei was also playing on the penalty kill, and I think a lot of fans are wondering how much are we going to miss him down the stretch? And, you know, the team played pretty well without him going into the break. So that's the question to you. I mean, he does so much for this team. Will we be able to replace those minutes and continue to win at a high level?
Well, that's the key is the minutes. And I think it's his offense ability, what I think they'll miss the most, because, you know, we don't get a whole lot of production from our defense. You know, Victor's having a good season offensive wise. You know, Radish has been a little bit better offensively, but other than that, you know, outside of Sergei, we don't get a lot of production from our D, and that's something that in this game we really need to have happen. You know, like tonight, Colorado.
Yeah,
Colorado has the highest scoring defense in the league. They got 41 goals amongst 6 guys or 8 guys that they got on their roster. So that's the highest amount of goals for any team in the league from defensemen. So that's what's going to miss him. And you're right. And the key thing is the minutes. Like, he's playing 22, 23 minutes. And I know when you see guys that are used to playing 14 or 15, now they have to play 17 and 18. Sometimes that exposes them. And, you know, they're not able to handle that extra time. And that's a big factor right there as well.
Chief, I don't know what else we could say about the play of Nikita Kucherov that hasn't already been said. I mean, it's every night, right? You just expect this guy to just stack like at least a point, 2 points, 3 points, 4 points in some situations. And, you know, we sit here right now, I mean, 90 points in 53 games for him, and that's only been done by Lemieux, Yager, Gretzky, and that guy McDavid over there in Edmonton in the last 30 years. And, you know, we know scoring, like, while it's on the rise, obviously, in the modern game, but it's nothing like it was, obviously, when Gretzky, Yager, and those guys played. I mean, did you ever think we would ever see a stat like that associated with players that are playing in today's game? And I mean, he's just got to be the MVP, you'd think, right?
Yeah, I mean, a key thing for that, you know, one of the things that, like, for me, McDavid is a hell of a player, don't get me wrong. But, you know, up until this year, they never won with him, and you know, and their record wasn't that much different when he wasn't in the lineup, which was not very often. But so that's what I determine what an MVP is, guy that when he's out of the lineup, you know, your team just does not do anything. You know, like that one year that Taylor Hall played for New Jersey, he won the MVP because, you know, he himself had 60% of the goals that Jersey scored that year. So that's what I like about it. But Cooch never gets mentioned in that. I don't understand that. I mean, that just kind of proves to me that a lot of people up north, especially the press, don't watch this team very often, because we see him every day, and there's always something that amazes you almost every game. Like, how did he do that?
Yeah.
You know, and he is just a tremendous player. And you know, and his stats are proving it. You know, players will tell you that's the ones who should determine the most valuable players.
Exactly.
Because they know who the hell is and who isn't.
Yeah, that's why he was the first pick in the All-Star game. That shows you a little something about what those players think about him. Bobby the Chief Taylor joining us here. Chief, I was watching NHL Tonight the other night. There was a great discussion going on about the importance of offensive defensemen in this game. And part of the discussion was like, there's so much, you know, the game is so wide open these days. If you don't have the defensemen supporting your offensive attack, you're just not going to be an upper echelon team. You know, you look at some of the, you know, Cale Makar, so many great defensemen and their abilities. And Sergei certainly falls in that case. That's why the Lightning paid him so much money. So moving forward, does Brisebois, with this $8.6 million that he can now play with the long-term injury to Sergei, that money goes on the shelf. They can use it now if they want to. Does he go out and find an offensive defenseman? Does he find a stay-at-home guy? What do you think? And I think he's going to make some moves. What do you think is going to happen in terms, and is that true about the defenseman?
Well, yeah. I mean, the key thing about defenseman is moving the puck, you know, because everybody uses that stretch pass. You know, they pass from behind their net to the front of the net of the other team, that type of thing. So you need a really good, strong passing defenseman. And because that moves the puck, you know, and it also creates more speed too. If you got a guy back there that doesn't hit the pass, you know, if the pass is in his skate or it's ahead of him and all that, that slows your team down big time. Passing makes your team fast and faster, and I think that's a key thing back from coming back there. I think they need a number 2 center. They don't have a number 2 center. They keep saying, you know, everybody keeps thinking Cirelli. He's a terrific number 3 center, but he's not. He can't. His offense isn't good enough for a number 2 center. You know, you got to have a guy that's getting you 25 goals a year. You know, and Cirelli's his highest was 19, and that was about his 4th year in. And that's the key right for me. You know, and I think what happens is you get a guy like that is so good defensively and penalty kill and checking the other guy's top line and doing that, and then you put him in that number 2 thing. You know, you want him to be a little bit more of a scorer. Well, the strength of his game might be lessened because of that fact that he's always pushing and straining to become that top second offensive guy.
Interesting.
And, you know, so I think that's a bigger need than the D, because we missed Sergei for 17 games, and the D played pretty well.
They did all right.
You know what it is, guys, too? You know what, JP? We've talked about this, and it's kind of a weird thing, but you need that offense to get to the playoffs, but in the playoffs, you need that defense. You know,
good point.
Teams,
yes.
You know, if you take a look over the years, teams that are getting into the playoffs and going deep in the playoffs, all around the worst would be around the 10th or the 11th in the league. You got to be in the top 10 defensively. We're still 23rd. That team defense has to improve for us to not only get in the playoffs but also to go further in them.
Would you move Stamkos back to center?
Well, I'll tell you, yeah.
As your second line center?
Heck yeah, I would. I mean, for me, you need something back there. You know, they play well. You know, don't get me wrong. It sounds like I'm really downing on Cicerelli. I'm not. I'm just saying that sometimes
it's a different role.
To do something different with them. Then the role that he's really, really good at suffers.
Right.
And, you know, that was what made the Cup team so good, is the fact that each guy knew exactly their limitations and knew exactly what they had to do, you know, like the Gord, Goodrow, and Coleman line.
Right.
They chipped in with offense, but their whole thing was to make sure that you play in the other team's end, their forecheck, their defense. And that's what, and you know, when they scored, that was a big bonus. So that, I think, is what's something right now that these guys have to understand what they can do and what they can't do. And I think that's one of the things that's kind of been troublesome for them in order to get their defensive rankings down, you know, or up, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know, to get below, you get around the 10th or 12th or 13th in the league, you know, and that's really has to. you know me when I keep telling you, it's like pool. It's not what you make, it's what you leave.
Yep.
And and if you're leaving a lot of goals open on your game, you you rely on your goalie a heck of a lot, and he has to be the best. We've seen Bassey at that set level, and I think he's getting there again.
Yeah. So when you add all that up, I mean, at this point, 55 some odd games in, and anything obviously can happen when you just get into the tournament. But do you view this Lightning team as currently constructed as one of those contenders with some of the issues? I mean, I say all the time, I don't feel like they have enough. I mean, the depth guys they brought in, they're obviously here on cheaper contracts because of the cap being what it is, but they don't seem like they get enough secondary scoring from those guys. And you kind of mentioned it, that third line that you used to have. Those guys used to put the puck in the back of the net as well. Some rookies playing on the defense. Do you think right now that they are among the Stanley Cup contenders?
Well, I think when you take a look at this team, they've been there, done that thing comes into the fact. But again, I know defensively they have to be a lot better as a team. You can't keep giving up those high danger chances, and because when you take a look at it, so much talk about right now, like in puck management, like the team is 17th in the league in giveaways. They give up almost 7 3/4 giveaways a game average, and so that's got to cut down. I mean, they're good on even strength. They're in the top 10 in even strength goals. They're the number one for penalty kill, power play in that. And everything in offense is fine in a sense. They're right in the thick of things. It's the stuff that keeps the puck out of your net that they have to get better at. And I think that's something that I'm sure that'll come because they did it before. But that's, for me, it's the realization of those third and fourth lines to understand that you can't play like Cooch plays. Nobody can play like Cooch plays. Maybe McDavid can play like him, but nobody else can.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can't do this fancy stuff. You have to be much more diligent with your puck management, sometimes Hagel drives me nuts sometimes when he killing penalties. He'll get the puck 2 feet from the blue line, and then you want to go on the offense, and all of a sudden he turns it over, and the puck's in your zone again for another 30 seconds. Yeah. Simple things like that have to be done, in my mind. And, and they're capable of doing it because we've seen them do it. But you can't, your fourth line isn't as skilled as your first line, and they have to understand that.
Bobby the Chief Taylor joining us here. All right, we got a good game tonight as the Colorado Avalanche come in. The Lightning starting a 4-game homestand now. They lost 4-1 earlier this season to Colorado out there in Denver. So this will be a little different matchup. Stamkos, Vasilevsky is back. This is a matchup of two of the better teams in the league. What do you see in this matchup tonight?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, and this one too is what you guys are talking about. This team's defensive unit is the highest scoring thing in the league, and they move the puck. You got to really pay attention to that. For me, it's just like, what's the best way to shut down a high offensive team is make them play defense. A lot for longer stretches. I mean, obviously you're not going to have them there the whole game, but instead of being in the zone for like 10, 12, 15 seconds, make them play defense for 30 to 35, 40 seconds.
Yes. And,
that limits their offensive ability, obviously. But I think that's something that I expect to see tonight, that, when we forecheck, we've talked about this, guys, all year long, about when they're on their game and they're forechecking hard and their puck retrieval has been really strong.
Yeah,
they really have a good game, and they really need to have that happen again tonight.
Hey, real quick, Chief, I wanted to get your take on this whole situation that happened over the weekend in Toronto with the Morgan Riley thing. It seems to have been the talk of the NHL really this week. From your perspective, did that go too far, and are the unwritten rules of sports just completely blown out of proportion, you think, at this point?
No, yeah. I mean, Morgan Riley, really, this is a guy that has his gloves taped on. He never drops his glove if he wants to do one.
Right.
But, the kid, wanted to score, so he slaps it in there. You know what? You mark that down in your memory bank, and you could get even there. But right at the time, I mean, I know you're frustrated because you're losing and lost, but really, I mean, these guys here, like, for instance, and all this dancing and stuff that they do after a game and jumping around and all, I mean, after a goal, rather, okay, fine. I mean, that's the way the sport is. So that's what I couldn't understand what Riley was so upset about, other than they lost the game. But doing that's the dumbest thing I've seen in a long time. I mean, the celebrations, for instance, we're starting to celebrate like every guy in football does when he scores a touchdown, and that kind of doesn't sit too well with the guys that get scored on. But for me, I don't understand his thought process there. It was an empty net goal. Yeah, he took a slap shot there. So what? What if the guy did a spinorama and then just backhanded it?
I mean, I will say you could act like you've been there before. You don't have to do that.
I agree. The kid should have done that.
But
the point is, Riley was dumb enough to go.
Yeah, he took the bait.
I mean, really?
Yeah. Well, and then just don't. I mean, do you need to use your stick to try to decapitate the guy? Well, go over there and hit him. Board him. Whatever. You don't have to take your stick and put it up by his head. I mean, that's the thing, right? It's a weapon. Come on.
Well, but think about that the guy when we were playing just the other day that cross-checked that guy right in the face and he got he never got that penalty. Remember at the end behind the net there, it was the Russian kid. I forget who it was that came in after him and he cross-checked him right in the face. Yeah,
this is becoming more commonplace. What are we doing?
Yeah, but I mean, think and then they call 3 penalties. On each team, different penalties,
right,
for touching the guy. And you cross check the guy in the face who could be eaten out of a straw for the next month if they got him really good.
Yeah.
But you touch him on the hands. Oh, that's hooking. I can't understand this game.
I don't get that.
JP. I talked with the referee that Don Koharski told me. He said, because he used to get mad at me because I'm not the greatest fan of referees, but
right, of course.
And he says, Chief, you got to keep after these guys just because the way they're calling the game now is just terrible.
Yeah.
And this is a former referee telling me.
Yeah.
So I mean, it is. I mean, you can't take. I don't know. I know I'm old school, guys. I know I am. But the thing is, this is a tough game played by tough guys, and right now. That's not in the cards right now because you don't have to be.
Yeah, there's just got to be. I mean, the way they protect some of these guys, you just breathe on them. It's like that's a penalty, and nobody knows what a penalty is anymore. And
that's the key.
Yeah, nobody knows it's one of the most frustrating things about the game. I have fans that are new to the game, and they tell me all the time, it's like, I don't understand what's a penalty and what's not. And I tell them, I said, you know what, hon, I spent the first 15 years trying to figure it out myself. And then when you ask the players, you know what they tell you? They don't know either. They don't know. So if the players don't know what's a penalty, stop worrying about it. Just did they call it, shake your head, and see how they do on the power play. That's about, I mean, you hate to say it, but that's kind of the way it's gotten, right?
Big time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, Phil and I get going on it. And
sure. Martini's
like
Mondays.
Saying,
yes.
Oh, yeah, we get it. And for me, it's just like and when we played, we knew every referee what he did and what he didn't do.
Right.
We knew
and their
what
wife's
you
name.
had to do or what you couldn't do with this referee.
Yeah.
And now you have no idea because these guys change their mind. One time it's a penalty, the next time it's not.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Or it's a penalty against one team and it's not a penalty against the other team. It just doesn't add up.
No.
And
before we go, speaking of penalties, the Lightning, as they sit right now, have the 5th best power play in the history of the NHL. Like from a number standpoint, or just below 31%. And I think it's the 79 Oilers or 84. One of those Oilers teams that has the best of all time at 32.4%. John Hill just brought it up in our comments again. So they're at the 5th best power play in the history, obviously number 1 in the league. This power play has been absolutely lethal, and it's getting better. Why is it better even this year than it was? Just because Cooch is shooting the puck more and he's more dangerous shooting the puck?
Yeah, I think so because I mean, he's a tremendous passer. Don't get me wrong, but they play for that pass, and when we're struggling on the power play, if you watch, before the break even, guys were just really paying attention to Stammer because they know, he's going to shoot. And why wouldn't he with that shot?
Yeah,
and and so they never played Cooch to shoot because he would always pass. Now, what you do is I always liken it to it, and Phil gets so mad at me when I say that. Well, those two statues out front. When they put up the statue of Andrechuk, that really screwed up the Birds because they didn't know which one to crap on. So the thing for me is that if Cooch is shooting now and passing, you can't cheat on him now. You have to play him heads up, and that opens up everything, and that makes your power play that much stronger.
Well, they're going to need it tonight against the Avs. Should be a good one. Now, I know, Chief, you're not a big uniform guy. Nick, my co-host, loves the uniforms. They're debuting their their alternate jersey, I guess, tonight, the black one. I saw it on social media. I like it. I have a very classic look to it. It's got the 3 cup years stitched in the inside, which is kind of cool. Have you seen it? What are your thoughts? Do you care?
Yeah, I do too. I mean, I think too is, even if you go back to that crest that we had, from the first couple of years, that's the key for me. I think that's really neat.
I like that.
And that's really a retro jersey then, if you're going back to then.
Yes.
Because, they simplified it. Steve Yzerman simplified it. For all the reasons in the world, why he chose Maple Leaf Blue, I can't believe that happened because both
still
Phil
confuses
and I hate
me.
the Leafs.
Still confuses me when we play. Yeah.
Yeah. So any other color but that. But I think it's going to look nice, really nice. And what's really cool is they got the laces at the neck. That's what.
Yes.
That was common for back in the day. Jerseys, all of them had the laces up front.
Well, we'll see it tonight. All right, Chief. I'll see you tonight as well. Have a great call. We'll catch up at the arena. Thanks, buddy.
You bet. Thanks, JP. Thanks, guys.
Bobby the Chief Taylor right there. Yeah. So are you warming up to it now, Nick?
I have to say, I think so these things usually leak before they get released. So this leaked out maybe a couple months ago.
Yeah.
And it looked horrendous, and everybody killed it. Really, this is the jersey. But now that I see it, and this is just the pictures, but they also put one of Nikita Kucherov wearing it as well. I mean, it looks like it's going to work. It does look like it's going to work. Hockey usually is about the classic, timeless looks, and this does have that. I think the blue pops so much off the black, and then the two-tone lettering, and I think that's the difference. Remember the black jersey they debuted 5 years ago with the gradient?
Yeah. Yeah.
That one was just an eyesore and hard to know who was who on the ice because it was that dark gray, if you remember, was the numbers and the name. So this one has the white, and then it has that blue and black outline that makes it pop. So I'm kind of here for it. It looks like they're going to wear it 7 or 8 times here. In fact, their next 3 games, Colorado, Florida, and Ottawa, they're going to wear them. So we're going to get a good look at them. So I give it a thumbs up.
I like it.
I give it a thumbs up for now.
Getting a few more angles of it here.
They're going to sell a crap ton of them too, by the way.
Yeah, they are.
If they haven't already sold out. I mean, when they put the other jerseys on sale, they usually always sell out.
Yeah, so here's the 3rd jersey schedule. They even have it here. Thursday, so tonight, then Saturday against the Panthers, then Monday against Ottawa. So this whole the first 3 games, they're gonna wear it. Then Saturday, March 2nd, then Saturday, March 9th against Philly, and then Saturday, March 30th against the Islanders, and then Wednesday, April 17th against the Leafs. So, I think I like it. I haven't gotten a new jersey in a while. Maybe somebody listening to this will make sure JP gets one. But probably not. But anyway, maybe I'll buy one. No, I don't buy jerseys.
I don't have $300. I don't have $300 to spare on a jersey that I'll wear maybe twice a year.
Yeah,
saying
because if I wore jerseys, I definitely buy this one. Yeah.
Unless you're going to a game, why are you wearing jerseys out in public? That always perplexes me.
I don't get it. I'm wearing another dude's jersey. Yeah, I like it though. I like the sleeves. The blue on the sleeves too pops. The white, yeah, that's a nice looking jersey. The more I look at it, I'll retweet that. Yeah, go get you one. I was at the Magic game last night. Had my kids, my 11 and under team, got to be the anthem buddies. We got them down on the floor last night. By the way, it's been a while since I've been to an NBA game, especially down on the floor. Those dudes are tall. My little boys were like standing in front of them, coming up to their knees. Like they're so big, these guys. Incredible. The match, we'll take a break. I want to come back and talk about the first NBA game I've been to in a long time as a fan. It was interesting. So it was very different than the last one I went to. So we have to chat about this. So we'll do that. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll do that. We're going to get into some Buck stuff, some more from the Kansas City parade, some of the sound from yesterday. Steve Wilkes gets fired in San Francisco. I think they fired the wrong guy. We'll talk about that. And USF gets a big win last night and some Rays talk in the second hour. Lots more coming your way. Brought to you by the great folks at Italiano Insurance. Get that insurance checkup, folks, and save thousands of dollars like I did on my auto insurance. You can do that with your business insurance. One of their clients called up and saved $26,000 on their annual business insurance. Lots of money to be saved. There's new companies coming into the marketplace here in Florida that want to attract more business. They offer some lower rates. And Italiano can get those for you. 813-877-7799. Italiano Insurance. Tell them JP sent you. Back in 3. Stay with us.
JP here for the Jeeves Law Group, Jeeves. Call for a free case evaluation, 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES. We're local. We're trusted. The law firm brings over 80 years of combined legal experience focusing on clients in Tampa Bay, the state of Florida, and national class action cases. If you're injured, get that free case evaluation, no cost to you. The Jeeves Law Group's focus is on auto, truck, and motorcycle accidents, as well as class action and consumer protection law. Scott Jeeves is a board-certified civil trial lawyer and a certified circuit court mediator practicing in the Tampa Bay area for over 30 years. You hear him on the show all the time. Great guy, big Gator fan, and great for the community. The Jeeves Law Group is a highly skilled team with years of experience that will apply their skills, expertise, and knowledge to assist individuals who have been in an accident with compensation for damages, lost wages, medical expenses, pain and suffering, and property damage. Get that free case evaluation, 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES.
JP here for my good friends at Italiano Insurance, and they did it again. Once again, Italiano Insurance stepping up with the best customer service. I was in a bind. My old insurance company, my auto insurance, jacked up my rates, so I called Charity at Italiano Insurance, and she stayed till 9:30 at night until she got my insurance done. And guess what? She searched all these companies for me. I didn't do the work. She did. Saved me $1,000 on my annual premium. $1,000, folks. That's real money. And that's what you get at Italiano Insurance. Great customer service. And here's another note for you, by the way, with hurricane season up. 40% of people in Florida are underinsured. That means if you have something happen during a hurricane and you need replacement costs, you're going to get 40% less than you deserve. Can't let that happen. Call the folks at Italiano Insurance and get them to help you out in both those regards. They will save you money and keep you insured properly. That's 813-877-7799. Great folks in the community, been doing it for over 60 years. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799. Start the new year with a new diamond from the Gold and Diamond Source. It's still engagement season. Where better to get that special ring than the Gold and Diamond Source? Of course, I just got mine there. I'm engaged. You should do the same thing. Let's go. Gold and Diamond Source has the largest selection of engagement rings in the country. A literal jewelry superstore with 30 times the inventory of any normal jeweler. And if you have a loved one or a special person in your life who has a birthday this month, maybe you have an anniversary coming up, you can get 15% off the January birthstone, which is garnet, as in garnet and gold for all your Seminoles. Celebrate that mythical national championship. And it's the Gold and Diamond Source's 40th anniversary. For the past 40 years, they have taken pride in offering only natural diamonds formed over billions of years from the Earth's incredible forces. And gold prices are at an all-time high. Now's your chance to turn your jewelry box into a cash machine. It's the perfect time to trade in your broken or unworn pieces for something new and stunning. It's the Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Almerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
Strike. 102.5 WHPT, HD2 Sarasota, Tampa, St. Pete.
All right, yeah, for those of you who are not listening on the radio, you can now listen on the radio, 102.5 HD2. That's the Bones secondary HD signal that goes from Newport Richey to Sarasota to Orlando. I can listen to it on the way back to Orlando here. So all types of Lightning games, if you want to listen to that. Bulls games, the USF games are on there as well. Some of the women's games, men's baseball, all kinds of great stuff on the Strike 102.5. Bobby the Chief Taylor and Phil's Martini Mondays are on there. So they got two live shows, our live show, and then the Lightning Lunch with Greg Linnelli and Dave Mishkin, and that's from 12 to 1. So if you're looking for some great sports content on the radio, you can now get it at 102.5 HD2. So there you go.
You can also listen on theboneonline.com. You go there, and then you hit where it says Tampa Bay Lightning. You can't miss it right there on the front, and it'll send you directly. Cool. You just hit the old play button, and you'll start hearing JP's voice. So there you go.
I did not know that. So we can put another stream out there for them to listen to.
Correct.
All right. So many ways to listen to this great show. You can do it live or do it on the podcast as well. We do 2 hours every Monday through Friday, folks. Tampa Bay specific sports for the most part. And, you've got a lot of other podcasts out there, which are fantastic. We tell you to listen to them all the time, but they're more football, the Buck specific, they're, Rays specific, Lightning specific. We cover all the sports. And as far as I know, Nick, we're the only ones that do that in the Tampa Bay area. Are we not?
We're one of them. Go? We're definitely one of them for sure. And
I don't know if there's any others.
Very proud of our work. And now you have so many different avenues that you can listen. So like the video portion, we're here for you, but now we also have just the normal, and you can always find the podcast too on Apple and Spotify as well.
I noticed on Twitter now that like on my particular profile, it doesn't show up on necessarily my thread, but it's like at the top button where the profile is, it says live, and you click that and you get the show.
Yeah. So they're making it very easy and user friendly, I guess, on all these platforms now. So can't miss it.
Yep, there you go. And we thank you guys for commenting as well. We'll get into the comments here as we roll through it here in our second hour. The Rays reporting yesterday, I guess we have pitchers and catchers we have pitchers and a catcher. We got one catcher. His name is Renee Pinto. Really interesting article Topkin wrote today on Renee Pinto, and it is. Did you read it?
I did not read it, but I saw the I'm sorry, I'm already laughing. The way that he put it out on Twitter, like it only tells you like the headline of the article. And all I saw was I'm scrolling through Twitter and it says, "Why didn't Rays go get a starting catcher?" Because they have Renee Pinto. And it was like it's like almost read like because they have Will Smith or Sean Murphy, Renee Pinto. I'm just joking around. I do like Renee Pinto, but when I read that, I was like, it just made me laugh a little bit.
It also kind of, the connotation is that he's not a starting catcher. we didn't need to get one because we already have one, or we just have decided we're not going to have one. We'll just have a backup play most of all the time. And looking at his historic numbers, there's nothing that would suggest to you historically that Renee Pinto is going to be a great player over the long haul, right? I mean,
from what I recall last year, though, I thought he actually started to hit a little bit better last year.
At the end of the year.
At the end of the year. And if you look at the numbers, like it was a 38-game sample size, 6 home runs, 16 RBIs. The average was just over 250. I know the OPS plus was under 100, so that's a little bit below average. But you'd like to think that if he gets more playing time like he did last year, he'll build on that. But again, this historically, this is not a position the Rays have really ever had like a set in stone guy.
Yeah.
Like we had Zunino for 3 years, and that was like one of the longer tenured ones.
Yeah,
Wilson Ramos is better, probably the best catcher that we ever had.
For 2 seasons, right?
Right. So
well, this is interesting as it's written. It says Pinto is 27, but has played only 63 games in the majors. His stats don't make a very compelling argument. 235 average, 8 homers, 654 OPS at the plate, 4 of 32 runners caught stealing.
Yeah.
What?
He's not great. He's not the greatest.
27
plate,
combined pass balls. What? And wild pitches over 466 in a third innings. Those are not good. Not only are those not good numbers, those are all bad numbers. They're not good. Those suggest you are not a starting catcher in the major leagues. Like that's his resume. So basically what they're saying is, and they signed this guy 2013, Rene Pinto. He's been around forever. But they're banking on this stretch at the end. It wasn't even a full half season, but they're banking on that, though, all those improvements that they saw as the reason they're going to stick with him. 103 at bats is what they're banking on. And he's not, in 10 years, he's not particularly shown you that he's a great defensive catcher. So it seems to me, and here are the numbers. His average went from 213 to 252. His OPS from 566 to 723. They're projecting his home runs because he had 6 over the last 103 at bats to, the 25 to 30 home run pace. Okay. And Cass said, yeah, we're going to lean heavy on him. He's a really good player, a really good catcher. Felt like what he did offensively might not have been appreciated as much as it should have been. The home run output was impressive. He's just gaining confidence day by day. The catchers, the pitchers seem to love him, the way he handles the pitchers. And I get all that, and it all sounds great, but is this real? You're going to hang your hat on this guy as your starting catcher? That seems a little odd to me.
Well, again, the catcher market on free agency, and even though I said I would have liked to have seen a veteran, and I think Yasmani Grandal is one of those guys I threw out there, and he's still available, because I do like having a veteran at least back there.
Yeah.
But I also think they're excited about this kid, Alex Jackson. And I call him a kid. He's not really a kid. He's actually older than Rene Pinto. I think he's, how old is he? He's 20. He just turned 28. But he was I think, the number 6 overall pick in the 2014 MLB draft. Former top prospect. He's 28 now. Remember, they got him last year in one of those trades that they made at the deadline. And last year in AAA, 16 home runs, 45 ribbies, 284 average, over 900 OPS, and about 250 plate appearances. So I do think they're excited about him and what he can provide offensively. So I think that's where they're hedging their bet right now, is they're going to go in there with Pinto. They think that there's some untapped potential. In 6 home runs in 38 games or 35 games, whatever, I think is a pretty good little sample size. And he has some underrated power. Like, maybe it wouldn't surprise me if he hit like 15 home runs this year, if he got the bulk of the playing time. But I do think this Alex Jackson, who really hasn't had much play in the majors yet, that's another guy they're looking at, that hopefully they get him in their building, and who knows? You know how they do with the swings, and
yes,
maybe they'll unlock something.
Put him in the Reds factory. Yes.
Right. I think that's kind of what they're going for there. And the other part of this is they don't have to spend any money on that position.
Well, there you go.
You got one out of me. You got one out of me.
And there you go. It's like we all understand that. Once again, printed in the Times the other day, the Rays' financial constraints of the small market. Zero basis in fact. Big market, have plenty of money, choose not to spend it. If you would like a editor's correction there. It's the mental gymnastics that they sometimes jump through to just say, we don't want to get to the last part of your explanation. We don't want to spend any money on a catcher. That it's like, well, all right, how are we going to justify this? What are the mental gymnastics we're going to go through? We're going to lean on the last 100 at bats as our reason to not go out and get a starting catcher. That's just, and listen, the Rays will prove me wrong again. He'll come out and have an all-star year, and I'll go, what the, how did you guys see this? And it's, if he continues on that path, yes, but this dude has been in the minors a long time, and he's never shown any real tremendous ability. He's got good ability, could be a decent backup catcher, but not a starting catcher in this league, especially defensively. No way. His pop time is good. Okay, you still got to throw the ball down at second base. Who cares what your pop time is if you don't have a great arm and it's not accurate?
Yeah, And for those who are interested in the numbers, as you are typically,
yes,
when it comes to payroll, they were operating last year. I have it here via Spot Track. Their active payroll last year was at just over 93,000.
93 million.
Or 93 million. My
last
goodness.
year?
Help us all if it was 93,000.
Not last year. That was in 60 to 70.
No,
right.
Last year that was their active payroll is what it's showing here.
93 million?
93 million. Their active payroll as of now is at 83 million.
Active payroll can always be weird because, it's, who's on the injured list and what injured list are they on, blah, blah, blah. The guys that were playing last year, that payroll was about 70 million. The guys that were playing most of the year.
Take into account that 83 million that they're sitting at right now, that has not accounted for yet all these guys who are still in their arbitration hearings. So, like, you saw that Jason Adam went to arbitration. He lost, right. So he's going to make $2.7 million this year is the number. They still have a laundry list of guys who still have to go to arbitration, I believe. So this number will more than likely get well over 90 million and probably push 100 million at the end of the day.
That's crazy. And that gives me a little bit of
because by the way, it's not the Wander contract inflating that. Even if you include Wander in that, and he's still listed
$2 million this year,
it's only 2.45 million.
Yeah, it's only $2 million.
And they just gave out. Let's give them credit here. They did give out a heft for them, and even for a reliever in general. They gave out a pretty hefty chunk to this Phil Maton. Did you see this? The reliever they got from Houston.
Yeah, and I looked at his numbers. I'm like, what the F are we doing?
You say that, but this guy's going to be locked out at the back end of the bullpen.
How many career saves does he have, Nick?
They don't need a closer.
How many career saves does he?
They're not looking for a closer. Fairbanks is the closer. He's going to be that guy that's in that setup role. I think that Jason Adam, this might be the last year you see Jason Adam, and they're going to hedge this guy. He's going to get more, and they had to replace Bob Stevenson because Bob Stevenson, I love Bob Stevenson, but he got an outrageous amount of money on the free agent market. Yeah, okay? And I wouldn't be surprised if that backfired. I think it was the Angels, if I want to say, or the team that gave him that, and they're desperate. Yeah. So they get this Phil Maton, and he comes in at half the price of Bob Stevenson, and I probably will bet right now he's going to be one of those guys that throws a lot of innings, and he's going to be shut down for you. So they did spend money in that department.
Yeah, $6 million, right? Or actually for 2 years, $12 million, right? Or a little bit more. This reminds me of the Manuel Margot contract. It's like you've got so many pitchers that are better than this cat that you're not paying that much money, but you went out and got this guy. I guess, they want him to eat innings and be, just give me a clean eighth. Let me get the Fairbanks, clean seventh, clean eighth. Yeah, that's important. It's just
how
as
many
big
guys
as
you're going to use.
Really.
You never know how many guys you're going to use. And listen, the Rays, if there's one thing we can bank on, there's going to be injuries in that pitching department.
Listen, I'm glad they spent the money. That's what other teams do. They spend $6 million on a middle reliever who can shut down the seventh, eighth, or the ninth inning, be a setup guy. I'm all for them spending money on it. It just seems like it's like when they spent the money on Margot. I'm like, his numbers do not suggest that he's going to be your highest paid player, which he was for a little bit. I'm like, that just right. I don't get that, and that did not turn out to be a good contract at all. In fact, you had to throw that in.
They were lucky they were able to get rid of it too.
Yeah, well, they gave away a number one pitcher, got very little in return so that someone else would take that salary. Let's be honest about what that was about. That was about getting rid of Glasnow's contract and Margot's contract for a couple of slapdick great pitcher and Ryan Pepio and
not slapdicks.
Johnny DeLuca.
They're not slapdicks. Hey, Johnny DeLuca might hit 20 home runs and you'll be singing a different tune. And Ryan Pepio is going to be slotted in.
Give me an ace pitcher and a Cy Young nominee. Over Johnny DeLuca.
Listen.
And Ryan Pepio.
I told you last week when we briefly got into the Rays, I don't think 2024.
Allie's not impressed. Look at that.
Yeah, whatever. I see her. She's listen, I told you last week when we got into the Rays a little bit. I don't think 2024 is necessarily the year that they're zeroing in on. I mean, they're going to compete. There's no doubt about that. They're going to be competitive. But I don't think it's the year they're zeroing in on. I think it's hard to ask that when you have Shane McClanahan out for the whole year. I mean, Neander said this week that they don't expect to get Jeffrey Springs back until like August, and then Rasmussen's coming after that. So think about that. That's 3 stud pitchers that you're basically not going to have for the entire year. So I think 2025 might be the year you see something different here in regards to being back in that window of competing. because they still have these guys. I mean, of the talent they still have here that's really good, the Yandis, the Randys, the Esox, the Josh Lowe's, these guys are going to be here for a long time, obviously. We know that. And then hopefully you get some contributions out of Junior Caminero if he has a Wander-type impact, which I don't think's out of the question.
Mm-hmm.
That would obviously go a long way. So I think 2025 is where
Wander-type impact, that's a lot to ask.
Well, he's a top prospect just like Wander was and is like the top hitting prospect in all of the majors right now. So we'll see. I think 2024, just enjoy it. I think they're going to compete. Maybe they'll surprise us, but I think 2025 is, I think, my best bet right now.
Yeah, I would have opted. I think they could have definitely added to the, maybe still can, to the catcher pool if they want to spend some money.
Yeah. And listen, the whole free agency market is so weird anyway. I mean, there's so, like, Blake Snell's still out there. Cody Bellinger's still out there. Matt Chapman's still out there. Well, who's this guy's? I mean, I think they're all like Boris agents or clients.
Oh, are they? Are they all Boris?
They might be.
There you go.
And that guy controls like the entire free agency market, which is usually still dead. Like those guys are going to sign like probably like while we're well into spring training, if you can believe it.
Oh, stop looking at Twitter during the show.
Yeah, don't do it. I do want to see, by the way, last note on the Rays real quick. And have you seen they're going to get a new City Connect, or they're going to get a City Connect uniform?
Yeah, I was going to talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's explained, like, again, I'm not I got my guys here. Lonnie's talking about it. A lot of guys are talking about it. What is City Connect? What explain that deal? It's like an alternate jersey. It's supposed to connect to your city.
Yeah, it's an alternate jersey. Kind of like you said, it basically is very city centric. Like the White Sox, when they got theirs, it was black pinstripes and it said Southside on it, for example. And a lot of other teams have had them. Like the Diamondbacks had one that was really cool that kind of had like snakes on it, and I think it honored like the heritage over there. I forgot the word that's on it, but some of them are really cool. And the Rays were one of like 7 teams that are going to get one, so everybody's trying to figure out what it's going to be. I think Cigar City, something themed like that, is probably the best route to go.
Oh,
if I was designing
Tampa
it,
roots to it.
Yeah, well, okay. But if you want to put something Skyway themed,
there's 7 season ticket holders in St. Pete are going to go nuts when they see that.
Okay,
all 7 of them are going to go crazy.
Right?
How could you honor Tampa? Look at all the support we give you.
Well, hell, put a Skyway themed on it. Have something Skyway themed. Somebody said something about maybe the Don Cesar, like get like some of the historic buildings on that side and try to make something cool out of it.
Yeah,
I mean, I wouldn't mind. I think they have some good options. The one thing is, please don't put a palm tree on it. I'm out. If you put a damn palm tree on it, I'm completely. You lost me. That's all I ask. And please get rid of this nasty yellow. Oh my goodness.
You mean that the hats are made of? The spring training hats are made of?
Yes.
Looks like they're wearing a lemon on their head.
The spring who thought this was a good idea?
Put gray a lemon pants on their head.
We're wearing gray pants, and then we got the Columbia blue that pops and everything. And then we got this yellow hat with this wimpy starburst. I'm so over this wimpy starburst that they continue to shove down my throat and put on all the merchandise. It's ugly. I don't own anything with it. I never will. Like, just completely rebrand back to the Devil Rays. And by the way, it's not one of those things
like... The Devil Ray logo is the coolest logo
exactly
around.
And it's not one of those things with the Bucks and the creamsicle. Crap
about the Starburst. The Starburst is like this ubiquitous, like, just meh thing. Right. It's like nothing.
It's boring.
You're the Rays. Show me the Rays at least have some, a Ray, Stingray. That's some type of fearsome hunter of the
right. That little
seas.
Secondary, even that little secondary that logo they have, which is like a Stingray.
Yeah.
Like that goes on like the shoulder patch. I like that too. But the Starburst, man, please. And I mean, go back to Devil Ray branding, because it's not like the creamsicle thing where the Bucks play horrendous in that thing.
Yeah.
The Rays won like almost every game they played this year with that Devil Ray stuff, and that stuff sells. It's always sold out. Everybody wants
the
it.
Starburst, I got nothing for the Starburst. The Rays. Woo.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
And
by the way, and this is a residue of the ubiquitous, gender neutral, everything, thing that they do. This Flappy Boy thing. What the F is the Flappy Boy? Have you seen the Flappy Boy zip what do they call it? Zip up hoodie that they're giving away? Have you seen this? No. See if I can get it. We might have to take a break and I'll come back. This is the
Flappy
ugliest.
Hoodie.
This is part of their mascot collection, the Flappy Boy. It's this ugly. It's the stupidest thing ever. And now they're gonna give away a hoodie. We'll take a break. We'll come back on the other side. I'll look it up.
Is this on the promotional schedule?
Yes, it's on the promotional schedule. It's the dumbest thing ever. And by the way, yes, they jacked up for all the theme nights. They've jacked up the get-in ticket prices like $56. So for all these,
my goodness, they did that because it's Randy's number. They did it because it's Randy's number.
So what? Are there guys? Don't we have a guy with a number 11 on the team? Let's do $11.
If you're going to pay $49 for that seat, you'll pay $56 for it, and it's just cool because it's Randy's number.
It's anything to get in the freaking building. You got the lowest price ticket is going to be $56. This is what they're telling me. This is what they're telling me. I know I haven't done the research, granted, but there are the $10 tickets. I know those are for select games.
Hey, they're doing like numbers. A flash sale right now too, by the way.
All right, well, go buy your tickets. Get that flash sale. So you don't have to pay $56.
Anyway, the Fan Fest this weekend too, by the way.
Oh yeah, it's on my calendar. Let me check. Going to the USF game. What is it? Saturday or Sunday?
The USF game sold out too, by the way.
Yeah, it's on Sunday.
It's gonna be crazy Sunday atmosphere.
Yeah, it's gonna be bananas. Yeah, my buddy who was supposed to get me a ticket. It's like, oh no, we don't have any now. I'm like, okay, thanks, man. Now I got to go try to get a credential. We'll see. Because I think it's gonna be raining. I don't think golf's an option on Sunday. But anyway, let's take a break. We'll come back on the other side. I gotta show you this picture of this thing, whatever the F it is. We're brought to you by the great folks at the Gold and Diamond Source. If you screwed up Valentine's Day, you can still save yourself. Okay, still go to the Gold and Diamond Source. They've got a great selection of everything you need. If it's a day late, don't worry, honey. I was busy. I didn't forget you. I was just building up a little bit of drama. Go in there today. Take care of your business. Get her a gift card. She'll be fine if you screwed it all up. So this is it's kind of like makeup sex, right? It's the makeup gift. Yet you better be good. You better come with it. All right. So bring your best. Get the credit card out and head over to the Gold and Diamond Source, and that will help your screw up. You know where it is, 3800 Omerton Road, always online at the goldanddiamondsource.com. Back in 3. Stay with us.
JP here for the Jeeves Law Group, Jeeves. Call for a free case evaluation, 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES. We're local, we're trusted. The law firm brings over 80 years of combined legal experience focusing on clients in Tampa Bay, the state of Florida, and national class action cases. If you're injured, get that free case evaluation, no cost to you. The Jeeves Law Group's focus is on auto, truck, and motorcycle accidents, as well as class action and consumer protection law. Scott Jeeves is a board-certified civil trial lawyer and a certified circuit court mediator practicing in the Tampa Bay area for over 30 years. You hear him on the show all the time. Great guy, big Gator fan, and great for the community. The Jeeves Law Group is a highly skilled team with years of experience that will apply their skills, expertise, and knowledge to assist individuals who have been in an accident with compensation for damages, lost wages, medical expenses, pain and suffering, and property damage. Get that free case evaluation, 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES.
JP here for the Gaddis Gordon Real Estate Group and our good friend Jane Gaddis. Folks, simply put, there is nobody like Jane. Jane is a former LPGA 2-time major championship winner. She was also vice president of talent relations at WWE. She also has a law degree from Stetson. So if Jane can drain a 10-footer to win the U.S. Open and stare down Hulk Hogan in the boardroom, you want Jane on your real estate team to not only negotiate the best deal, but find you the perfect home or investment property. And when you work with the Gaddis Gordon Group, you become part of the real estate family and get concierge services that include expertly staging, marketing, and preparing your home for sale. Advice on golf properties. Hey, you might even get some golf tips. Many of their clients become friends long after the sale or purchase is completed. It's all part of the deal. So if you're looking for that perfect home or investment property or trying to get top dollar for your home, go with Jane Gaddis and the Gaddis Gordon Group, because there's nobody like Jane. Call 813-485-6808 or go to gaddisgordon.kw.com. That's GEDDES Gordon.kw.com. or call 813-485-6808. JP here for my good friends at Italiano Insurance, and they did it again. Once again,
Italiano Insurance stepping up with the best customer service. I was in a bind. My old insurance company, my auto insurance, jacked up my rates, so I called Charity at Italiano Insurance, and she stayed till 9:30 at night until she got my insurance done. And guess what? She searched all these companies for me. I didn't do the work. She did. Saved me $1,000 on my annual premium. $1,000, folks. That's real money. And that's what you get at Italiano Insurance. Great customer service. And here's another note for you, by the way, with hurricane season up. 40% of people in Florida are underinsured. That means if you have something happen during a hurricane and you need replacement costs, you're going to get 40% less than you deserve. Can't let that happen. Call the folks at Italiano Insurance and get them to help you out in both those regards. They will save you money and keep you insured properly. That's 813-877-7799. Great folks in the community, been doing it for over 60 years. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799.
Let's go. Right now. Back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by our dynamic duo of the Geddes Gordon Group. You just heard the spot there, but if you need a mortgage or to refi, our good friend Scott Fitzgerald over at American Mortgage Service will hook you up. The rates are coming down, so don't wait till they get down into the fours, folks, because then the buying frenzy will begin. The smart people are already getting back into the market now, getting their investment properties, because when those interest rates come all the way to back down, then the buying frenzy will start again. Prices will go up. So if you want to get the home that you're looking for, go to the Geddes Gordon Group. They'll find you the exact home. The inventory is there now. While prices are not crazy, get your mortgage with American Mortgage Services. They'll have the lowest rates, the lowest fees, and then you're in. If you need to refi when the rates come down, they'll do that for you too with low numbers. So you're going to save money all the way around and get the home that you want. So smart play now. Get back into the market now before everything goes bananas. So that's our dynamic duo of the Geddes Gordon Group and American Mortgage Services for you. You know how to get in touch with them, Scott at AMS Tampa or the GeddesGordonGroup.com. All right. I'm sorry. I said floppy boy. It's Flappy Boy. BOI.
Yeah, I saw this now. Lonnie sent it to me on Twitter. I'm aware of this meme of like, it's the whole thing, like when the Rays do something really good and the local Stingray in a good mood type thing. And all the Rays fans run with it. I think it's great.
It's awful. It's awful.
It's fun.
Show this demented, stupid hoodie that they're going to give away.
All right, let me pull it up here. This is from the Rays website. There it is at the top there.
Oh my God, what is that?
Flappy Boy zip up hoodie.
It's got wings. And look at the face on that thing. That's disturbing. Like, it's disturbing all the way around.
It reminds me. Did you ever? I still have this, by the way, somewhere in a closet, like where it's very unseen. They give away the DJ Kitty onesie.
Yeah.
What was it years ago? I have like two of those.
That. I wear it for my last three, not last year, but I've worn it for Halloween.
Okay,
yeah.
so you're okay with the DJ Kitty onesie, but you're talking crap about the Flappy Boy zip up hoodie.
DJ Kitty has all the trappings of the classic disco, the backwards hat, the gold chains, it's classic stuff. I don't even know what this is.
DJ Kitty sucks.
What is that? What is Flappy Boy? What the hell is that?
That's what they.
What is that?
Because
on his face, like what is that?
Hold on. Let me put it up here so you could see it from a visual standpoint. Hold on. This is the.
I'm waiting.
I gotta.
I'm sorry to people that can't see the show. We apologize. I can just tell you, it looks like some.
This is
generic.
This is the meme. This is the meme right here that Lonnie sent me. This is what it is. Local Stingray in a good mood, and then the caption always says, the water is nice and warm, and his flappy parts feel very flappy indeed.
You know what? That is beautiful. That picture of a smiling, that's beautiful. As it happens in nature, don't try and put it on. Not everything deserves to be on a hoodie or deserves to be made into some type of I don't know what you want to call it, some merchandising thing to make money off of. That should remain as a meme. I can see it in the ocean. It looks cute. Don't put it on a hat. Don't put it on a shirt. Don't put it on a zip-up hoodie. It looks stupid with flaps on it. Like you're gonna wear it with flap. My kid wouldn't even wear that.
I think it's cool.
But there are some really cool. Like if you go down that
The promotion website. It's a lot of cool stuff. A
lot
lot
of
cool
good
stuff.
Let's just
in
not
fact,
go
they're
negative.
doing
There's some
they're
really
doing
cool stuff on there.
yeah, they're doing a lot of like themed nights. So like especially with the hats. So for all you Star Wars geeks out
the
there,
Cuban heritage hat you just showed looks sweet.
Yeah, like we got a Greek heritage hat.
Yes.
We got a Star Wars themed hat. Salute to veterans.
Yeah. Can you show the Star Wars? Can you? I don't know if you could scroll through that, but
yeah, I could scroll through it here. Here we go.
Modern cats. And again, apologies to the people on
so anyway,
listening on the podcast.
Is it scrolling for you as I do it?
It is scrolling. Yes, it is scrolling. Yes,
very
nice.
I'll go to the top. So you got the Greek heritage there.
Oh, I like that hat. That's cool. The Dave Wills, Dave
Wills tropical shirt is very cool.
That's outstanding. Dog Day. I like that.
The Randy luchador mask.
What's a luchador mask?
Wrestling.
It's wrestling.
All the luchador wrestlers always wear the mask. Like Rey Mysterio. You've seen Rey Mysterio, right?
Yeah.
That's that.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool.
We got the Star Wars here for all you Star Wars fans, and then we got the salute to veterans hat.
The veterans hat. Ooh, I like that.
We got
hat.
and then we got the annual Pride night, so you get the Pride jersey and the Pride bucket hat.
Nice.
Italian heritage hat.
Well, wait, are those Itzhak Paredes socks?
Itzhak Paredes socks.
Oh, interesting.
Presented by the Morgan Automotive Group.
Those are fun.
Irish heritage hat right here.
Oh, the Irish heritage hat of St. Patty's Day.
Yep, we get that.
That's really cool.
We got the Yandi bobblehead down here.
Oh, nice. What's he wearing?
With the fanny pack.
What's he? Why is
the Yanni fanny pack?
Wait. Why is the bobblehead? Is he wearing a fanny pack? Does he always wear a fanny pack?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
What else is he wearing there?
There's something on his head. I can't really tell here in the photo.
That's like a backwards yellow hat.
Yeah.
With the yellow fanny. Did he approve this?
Yeah, of course. And then you get the we'll keep it moving. The Venezuelan heritage jersey here.
That's cool.
Dominican heritage hat.
I like that as well.
Randy Rosarena streetwear shirt on the Mexican heritage night. A lot of
different heritages jerseys.
Yeah. Margaritaville hat.
Oh, that's great. Love the Margaritaville.
There's the law enforcement appreciation hat.
That's kind of cool.
Yep. Colombian heritage. The FAMU hat right here.
FAMU hat. Oh, Rattlers. Yes. Green and orange. Yeah.
Yep. There's Flappy Boy.
I'm a much Flappy Boy. Get out of
Cuban
here.
heritage hat.
Nice.
And then you get the Cowboy Country hat. Then we get the USF.
Are we getting country concert with that?
We might. The Jewish community.
I like all these themed hats.
I want to cover. Well, I'll go through them quickly just so we cover all of them. The Jewish community hat here, and then the Panamanian heritage hat.
That's cool.
Bucket hat here, Puerto Rican heritage, Christian faith hat.
Nice. Ooh, I like that.
And I think that's first responders here at the end of the season. There you
go. All
go.
those hats look amazing.
So I like how they're like recognizing everything. It's like a bunch of like different religions. It's different heritage. And then occupations. I like how they're doing that.
Yes. And don't force the players to wear anything. Just let them do whatever the hell they want to do. Don't force them. Don't make anybody do anything they don't want to do. Let's not make anything mandatory. Just everybody do whatever they want to do. Okay? We don't need to force anything on anybody. Just all be friends here. Just enjoy life. Don't let everybody do what they want to do. Except shoot people. I don't need to be doing that. Yes, excellent. Well done, Rays. Really good. Love the hats. The hats. You almost want to have a collection of all the hats. Really,
I know.
Good.
You have like games that you can circle on your calendar to go get that specific hat now.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. I like that. All right, we got to take another break. Our final break. We'll come back and we'll get into a little bit more. I got some golf stuff. Tiger Woods is teeing off in less than an hour, my friend. How about that?
Where's my TV at? I got to turn it on.
Right. Yes, we got to watch Tiger shoot 75. I'll still watch. I don't care. No, I'd be interested to see how he plays. He's played very well in the Genesis. Yeah. So we'll
you got to give us definitely got to give us your Orlando Magic takes as well. Since you took in that great game.
You got to do that. I teased that. I want to do that. So have you been to an NBA game lately? Very interesting. We'll take a break. Stay with us. JP here for the Geddes Gordon Real Estate Group and our good friend Jane Geddes. Folks, simply put, there is nobody like Jane. Jane is a former LPGA two-time major championship winner. She was also vice president of talent relations at WWE. She also has a law degree from Stetson. So if Jane can drain a 10-footer to win the U.S. Open and stare down Hulk Hogan in the boardroom. You want Jane on your real estate team to not only negotiate the best deal, but find you the perfect home or investment property. And when you work with the Geddes Gordon Group, you become part of the real estate family and get concierge services that include expertly staging, marketing, and preparing your home for sale. Advice on golf properties. Hey, you might even get some golf tips. Many of their clients become friends long after the sale or purchase is completed. It's all part of the deal. So if you're looking for that perfect home or investment property or trying to get top dollar for your home, go with Jane Geddes and the Geddes Gordon Group, because there's nobody like Jane. Call 813-485-6808 or go to geddesgordon.kw.com. That's GEDDES Gordon.kw.com or call 813-485-6808.
All right, this is for all you guys who don't want to go to the gym and do 5,000 crunches. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, you can get on the new True Body machine where you can reduce fat and tone up your muscle. It's like doing 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Define your body as you see fit. True Body offers personalized muscle stimulation that delivers the equivalent of those 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Just get in touch with them at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Chris Lugo and the team over there will set you up on True Body and get amazing results. Non-invasive with comfortable and little to no pain and zero downtime. You can isolate and target those areas that you want to improve and treat multiple areas simultaneously. It's an amazing machine, so check it out at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com.
Is getting a home equity line a good idea right now with rates so high? Well, I put that question to my good friend Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services, and he says it all depends on where you're at financially. Many of us with ridiculous inflation have been charging up those credit cards, right? At 29% interest, hoping to catch up, but that ain't happening. Those interest payments are killing you. So yes, a consolidation loan and tapping into that crazy equity in your house is a great idea. That strategy can drop your monthly nut by thousands of dollars and stop wasting money on those interest payments. Fitz, the mortgage guy, has done thousands of loans for the past 25 years in Tampa Bay. Just did one for a former colleague who was a manager for a big bank mortgage division. He knows Scott is an independent broker and can get him a way better deal than at his own big bank. AMS Tampa has way lower overhead and gives you the savings. So if you're worried about fees and closing costs, have the free consultation with Scott and look at the actual numbers. It may shock you what he can do. Be smart. Stay one step ahead. Email Fitz at scott@amstampa.com, scott@amstampa, or call 813-294-7595. Scott Fitzgerald, MLS 386-722. American Mortgage Services, 1000 North Ashley Drive, Suite 1020, Tampa, Florida.
Let's go. Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, well, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the great folks at Synovus Bank. Go see my good buddy John Acosta, one of the many neighborhood bankers over at Synovus Bank, the big bank with a real local feel. Go to synovus.com, get that local address, and head on over and open a new account, whether personal or business. You will love the personal service you get over there at Synovus Bank. All right, yes, I did go to a Magic game last night. Took my 11 and under team from the Ward Roper YMCA. We got the boys down on the court to be the anthem buddies. Shout out to the Orlando Magic. They do a fantastic job. It felt very much like an Amalie Arena setup. I mean, there was constant entertainment. The halftime show was fantastic, by the way. They just big Broadway-like dance number. It was, fantastic dancing moves. I mean, just guys and girls on stilts, like doing disco dancing. It's crazy. It's fantastic. The kids loved it. Everybody loved it. It's very, if you're not a basketball fan, you'll love going to a Magic game. I mean, it's everything. Lots of entertainment nonstop. They did a great job.
You get to hear that Orlando Magic.
Yeah.
Orlando Magic.
Yeah, it's good. They had like these spirit squads that go through the the breezeways, outside, where everybody's getting their food and stuff. And they got a drum line and they're doing dancing. Guys are jumping off walls, doing that parkour stuff. I mean, it's cool. Yeah. It's real entertainment. So, and
you got to see the fantastic player known as Paolo Banchero, by the way.
Oh my God.
Who had a career. Dude is fantastic. I haven't gotten a chance to get over to a game this year to see it in person, but Man.
You know, he's one of those guys that doesn't look like he's playing hard, you know, or fast. He's just so smooth. He gets his shot anytime he wants. Dunks galore last night. Not a whole lot of defense being played in the Knicks Magic game last night. The Magic are a very talented young team.
Yeah, they're all good. They have such a nice little core. Yeah. They're like between Paolo Banchero, Franz Wagner.
Franz Wagner can play, but he went back-to-back dunks, one with the right hand, one with the left hand. I mean, not just regular, like getting to the rim hard and throwing it down.
Yeah, and they're going to be back in the postseason this year. I think they're like 30 and like 25 or something like that right now, and they beat a really good Knicks team. And Jalen Brunson's another guy you got to see. Jalen Brunson accounted for like 33%, I think, on the dot of all their points last night. He's fantastic.
He can score at will. I mean, the Magic are not great defensively. I'll say that.
Well, no, the Magic actually are one of the best defensive teams in the league.
Are they really?
And the fact that they held them to 100, and when you hold a team to 100, you're going to win like just about every night.
Well, I think, didn't the Knicks score 36 in the first quarter? They scored 30. They scored 36 in the first quarter, and nobody played defense that's where I got my like, wow, this Orlando.
Yeah, no, the Magic defensively are one of the best in the league, and Jonathan Isaac, he's one of the better defensive just players in the entire NBA as well. He's great.
and he cleaned up a couple offensive boards too. Yeah. And it was a forced down low. So they've got some really good young players, very entertaining to watch. Here's what I didn't like. So they play music during the game.
Yeah, they've always done that.
Since when?
When you watch an NBA, I mean, you probably don't watch too many NBA games on TV. But yeah, when the teams have the ball, they usually play like some kind of like background music when the offense has it, the home team. And then usually when their team is playing defense, they usually have like a defense, like kind of like little thing going.
Yeah, I've always like the pipe organ was always prominent during the game, you know, dun 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 dun, you know. I've heard that, but this was like regular rock music and pop music, like during the possession.
That's what they do. That's what they do now. Yeah.
When did that start?
I don't know. Maybe they got some inspiration from Live Golf. I don't know.
So I'm not saying I hated it, but it was just weird. Like, like most of the time, I would think, you know, I would be talking to Ashley or the kids or looking at my phoners because I didn't think they were playing because I heard music. You know, I'm just like wired that way. And then I'm like, oh, wait, they're back to playing. They're back to playing.
Hey, by the way, where were your seats at when you guys?
they gave the kids the, we could touch the top. We could touch the top.
Well, that's fine. But I'm saying, at least you got to be on the court though before the game.
Yeah, we were down there. We were down on the court before the game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Watching it from up top probably wasn't as great an experience, but yeah, it was, I would say all in all, really fun experience. Like, and the Magic gave us, they gave the tickets free for the kids. So the parents paid $30 a ticket. Kids were free. We sat up in the third deck and the top, which is not a horror. I mean, you can see the game. It's fine. It's no big deal.
Actually, they don't even have a third deck in Amway. I think it's literally just a first and a second.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, they've got different levels. They've got like the lower bowl is big. Like the lower bowl is really big. And then it's like the second level is like all on one side, it's all premium seating. On one side, it's all premium, like the whole court side is premium seating on the second level. And then on that whole second level, you have different sub levels of luxury boxes and premium seating all the way around. So that's like the club level. And then they have the top level, which goes all the way up. And it's not a great seat, but it's not a horrible seat either. So I don't know how many it seats, like 16,000 maybe? Is it more than that?
It's around there, and I know the attendance has definitely gotten a lot better ever since. I mean, clearly they're putting a good product out there, and Paolo Banchero is a must-see player. Yeah. So that was cool. And even the night before you went there, they had the Shaq retirement.
Yeah, which I thought there would be a much smaller crowd the night after the Shaq thing because they packed them in on Tuesday night.
Yeah, the Knicks are a draw, though. They're always going to be a draw, too.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of Knicks fans there. There were a lot of Knicks fans. But yeah, really, really nice environment. Although walking to the game, we parked about 2 blocks away at one of the public areas, and which is like $15 instead of, I think it's like $40 in the garage next door.
Yeah.
So, and I'm like, we'll walk 2 blocks, no big deal. I think I might park in the garage next time. And just driving down the streets, like 3 blocks away is the soccer stadium. Woo! Saw some characters. And after the game, we're driving out like 2 blocks away. Whole block closed off, ambulances, fire truck.
Yeah, downtown Orlando is not the most. I speak from experience because I've spent many nights down there in downtown, and it is not the most fun place to be, I guess. I'll just put it that way. I'm not
unsavory
a downtown
characters. Unsavory characters.
Downtown Orlando is interesting.
Yeah.
I'll just put it that way. It's interesting. Very different than downtown Tampa.
When you're walking with 2 young children and a beautiful girl, there's a little and not a lot of police presence.
And where the bars are, by the way, for the college hooligans, like I was when I was down there, there is a hefty, which I don't mind. There's a hefty police presence typically, and they have all the roads blocked off on Friday night, Saturday night, things like that. But you have these like weird people, like we used to see people, the people that are in like the street, and they have like this guy had like one of those like big snakes like around his neck and stuff. And he's just like randomly walking around, and people are like literally paying him to hold the snake and stuff. I mean, it's just completely odd.
It's definitely not like walking to Amalie Arena. It's definitely not like walking to Amalie Arena at all. At all. It's not a 5-star hotel across the street. That's not there. There's an interstate on one side, downtown on the other, and if you're coming from the other side, which went by the soccer stadium, it's really small, very intimate.
Yeah,
but not in an area where you will be tailgating.
It's better than where Camping World is. Camping World, everything about Camping World is a disaster.
Yes,
everything.
Yes, they're putting like another $400 million into that thing.
They just need to like tear it down and start over. I think
Yes.
There's nothing else you can do to that thing.
I know. Like USF's building a brand new stadium for under $400 million. Build that thing.
I'm so convinced, by the way, that it cost Orlando a chance at hosting the World Cup. I'm so convinced.
Yes. They hosted it in 94.
Because Orlando is a very big soccer community.
Huge.
And you would have thought that like Orlando would have been a slam dunk. They were one of the finalists, but they didn't get picked. And I'm like,
stadium is just garbage.
Stadium is just horrendous.
Garbage. Yeah, it's garbage. It's like even hosting a New Year's Day game there is a stretch.
In the college game, I mean, they host like 5 or 6 bowl games there, and
the Pro Bowl. I mean, and FSU obviously played LSU this year. The fans were, I mean, it's like 45 minutes to an hour just to get in because they don't have enough ticket takers. They don't have the equipment and the infrastructure because they don't do it a lot. They have like 8 games there, 8 games there.
Yeah. It's like when you go to like Raymond James, for example, you just see like Raymond James, like it doesn't get, I don't think it's due nationally, but I think even as it is, whenever they do these upgrades, I already think it's a world-class facility. I really do.
Too. I mean, what more could you want? It's an intimate setting in terms of the seats are close.
Yeah. I think it's a bit unique to Tampa too. I really do.
Yeah. It's the audio visual is second to none. It's fantastic. I mean, now with the new boards and the new sound system, it's absolutely second to none. The only thing bad about Raymond James is it doesn't have a roof. There's no shade. And
that's going to cost it now when it comes to like Super Bowls in the future.
Without that. Yeah, you can't. You just can't. That's going to be difficult. In fact, I was talking to some people, about that. Hey, when are we getting another Super Bowl? And it's like, because now you got AT&T. Oh, excuse me. So you've got Dallas. Dallas is in the mix because of Jerry World. You've got Atlanta with the Mercedes-Benz Dome, right?
New Orleans, which is next year.
Yeah, New Orleans has always had the dome, right? Now you got LA, SoFi, and you got Vegas. And now Miami has a roof. Miami has at least shade,
Right, and now you're going to have, this one's going to be a big one too, is the new Titan Stadium in Nashville, because that one's going to be domed.
Yep, that's right. So these new stadiums are being built are moving ahead of you. Now they still, I don't care what you say about Dallas. It's still crappy weather in January, early February. We still have the weather advantage here in Tampa. That's not going away. We're still, we still have beach days in February. Still, you can take advantage of the nice weather. Still come here and play golf. You can't do that in Nashville. In February, Nashville, it's been nothing but snow. I
wonder if there's something to the fact too that Tampa, like I'm trying to think about it. They don't really have the biggest like hotel presence, I guess, around Raymond James.
No, but certainly I think we've doubled like that. I read this. We've doubled the number of hotel rooms with the addition of all the hotels downtown now.
Yeah.
We have doubled.
It's just still that it's a little bit, of a
still
drive.
Not maybe up to some of the, but here's the thing though. We can always, we can count our beach hotels and all of Pinellas County as hotels because people want to come to the Super Bowl and stay at the beach.
Right.
So
They'll make more of a week out of it. Kind of how they did I'm sure people did that in Vegas, although on a completely different scale.
So if you add in all of our hotel rooms on the beach in Pinellas County, we're one of the biggest. So I think, plus we have the best airport. Yeah. Our infrastructure is not
we're fighting an uphill battle trying to tell people to come here and don't go to Miami.
Yeah,
our stadium, that uphill battle.
Our problem is our stadium doesn't have as many seats, and it doesn't have a dome. Seats is not as big an issue because we can get it to a little over 70,000.
I'm trying to think of the Super Bowls that have been in Tampa. Has it rained at a Super Bowl in Tampa?
No.
Miami, yes.
I do recall Miami Super Bowls. I think the Jacksonville one they did there.
Yeah,
that was the Colts Bears game. That was
the worst one ever, and that like for everything. Like the NFL will never, and I mean never, go back to Jacksonville. Like never. Yeah. Talk about no hotel rooms, no taxis, no infrastructure, no restaurants. Like not enough. Not
and
even
then they went to
enough.
And then when they did the one at MetLife in 2014, it was freezing.
That's just stupid. We got to.
Which side note, I can't believe the World Cup final is being played in that thing.
Is the final being played there?
The World Cup final is being played at MetLife Stadium. I mean, you think of all the great soccer cathedrals around the world.
In Minnesota?
No, in East Rutherford, New Jersey. That's where the World Cup final is being played, at MetLife. And MetLife is already like an eyesore to begin with. It's not like it's a visually appealing thing. And it's
stadium.
It's in an awful area. It's very hard to even get access to the stadium.
Well, it's in the middle of nowhere. Yeah.
But that's where the World Cup final is going to be. I mean,
that's where the World Cup final is going to be?
Yeah. And then the US, their 3 group stage games, two of them are in LA and one of them's in Seattle.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are upset that the East Coast is not getting any guaranteed games, but
So there's no because Miami's hosting, right?
Well, I'm talking about the United States specifically. Their group stage games are going to be played, 2 of them in LA and 1 of them in Seattle. So if they advance
Team USA, you mean?
Yeah, Team USA is what I'm saying. A lot of Americans are upset that all their games that are guaranteed to play are going to be on the West Coast.
Oh, so until we get to the round of 16?
Yeah, if they get out of the group, then they'll play somewhere else. But their guaranteed games are on the West Coast, and a lot of the soccer fan base, the diehard fan base, they're all on the East Coast, and Kansas City as well. Kansas City is like the biggest soccer hotbed in the country.
Yeah. Yeah, that seems odd. So they're playing 2 in LA and 1 in Seattle?
Yeah.
Why would they play 2 in LA?
I mean, they probably have all the groups assigned to like a different region, and that just happens to be the region, so I can't think. I think Levi Stadium might be the other one in California that has a game maybe. But
okay. So they're rewarding California. Such an America first California state. Yes, let's do that. Let's give them the games. Okay. I want to get to some of our great commenters today. We never want to forget you guys. If you see any that you want to highlight, Nick, jump right on it. What else did we talk about? Oh, my thing is not working here. We talked about the power play, and John Hill brought this up. All-time best power plays, 32.4. The Oilers last season, 31.9. Canadians in 78. 78 Islanders, 31.4. Big year for the power play. The Islanders in 79, and the Tampa Bay Lightning at 30.7. Top 5 in the history. Yeah. Lonnie says, ever since Fanatics got involved, you can't get alternate jerseys, more players, and the quality is crap. Took me 4 years to get a Devil Rays authentic jersey from the Rays because they didn't sell them. You know more about this Fanatics
stuff. Fanatics
really
is
bad.
Like the worst big company that I think I've ever come across. They own a literal they have everything unlocked when it comes to merchandise. All the major sports all go through Fanatics. Even WWE goes through Fanatics. And they make all the stuff, and the quality is horrendous. And most of the time when you get your merchandise, if you order a jersey, you'll be lucky if the number is correct, if the name is spelled correctly. I mean, it's crazy. There is an actual page on Twitter called Fanatics Sucks, and it's all these people taking pictures of their stuff that they got from Fanatics, and it's all wrong.
So what are we doing? So what we're having here is a monopoly.
It's
We're
a monopoly.
rewarding a company with monopoly, so you have no consumer.
And the designs,
options.
by the way, the designs are boring. They're like the same. Like if you look at like the NHL's merchandise, which like goes directly through Fanatics, I don't buy any Lightning merchandise like at all because it's ugly. It's so ugly, and it's all Fanatics, and none of it fits right. It all just fits.
Is there any other company that's doing it?
No, it all runs through Fanatics. They literally have monopolized the sports merchandise market.
Well, I'm sure our elected legislators will take care of that with antitrust suits and everything. Yeah. Well, why don't some of these other companies sue them? Well, because they'll just get sued out.
They bought them all. They bought them all.
Yeah. There you go. You're not supposed to allow those things to happen.
Right.
Bucks Basement says, I simply refuse to get excited over the Rays until the owner sells the team because they're satisfied with making the playoffs and not doing anything when they get there. Embarrassing. Yeah, totally agree. I'm trying to get excited though, Bucks Basement. I'm trying to be a good team player, but at my core, I'm with you, brother.
I thought we made head ground last year when you and Stu had the handshake. I thought we made head ground, but
I think he's still mad that he shook my hand. He didn't realize I wasn't just another fan. It's your nemesis.
It was a great moment.
And I thanked him for the $10 tickets. I said, that great idea. Where'd you get that idea? JP Peterson show. Yeah, great idea. Well done. He smiled. I think he was happy to see me.
Hey, just to answer Jeremy's question here, because we talked about it a little bit. The trade deadline for the NHL, it is March 8th, Jeremy. It is March 8th. So we are, 2.5 weeks away? 3 weeks away? So they got some time.
Easy right here. JP kills me with the Rays. He's right, though. It's a miserable environment going to those games. It is. It's terrible. Don't tell that to Nick, though. America's Stadium. Nathan Elliott had an interesting take here. Sports officiating for four sports has gotten to be so bad because of the lack of consistent flagging. Enforce the rules across the board, and the players will know what they are. Stop enabling them. This is classic. He's absolutely right. The reason that Donovan Smith holds on every play is because he can't.
Right.
Because you don't call it enough. Because they don't want to stop the game. They don't want to have 50 flags. They need to have a come to Jesus meeting in football. Stop holding the receivers, or you're going to get flagged.
Right.
Stop holding the defensive linemen, or you're going to get flagged.
The other thing too is, and hockey's really bad with this. What's a penalty in the regular season is not a penalty in the postseason, and vice versa, and that drives me insane.
Can't do that. Oh, it's the playoffs. It's different. No, should be the same game.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you got to create two different teams.
I'm still salty about the Toronto Lightning game last year when Hagel's going on a breakaway and gets a complete hook to the face, and they didn't call it. And I know for a fact they were like, we're not going to have the game end on a power play. We're just not going to do it, even though it was blatant. I'm still salty about that.
Nathan says this. I seal jerseys for all sports leagues.
Sell.
So I sell jerseys for all sports leagues, all stitched. Where is he getting them on the black market? That's cool. Listen, if the market's not going to supply it, you supply it. I'll buy your black market stuff, especially if it's better quality. I know you can get all these other jerseys on the black market on other websites for a tenth of the price. And if they're better quality, all right, fill that void.
They come out very similar to what Fanatics is giving you, or sometimes better. So
yeah. All right, great stuff, Nick. Good job, Bobby the Chief Taylor. Thank you very much for joining us here. If you missed anything, you can always check us out on the podcast at Spotify and on Apple or anywhere you get your podcast. You can always go back and watch it on Twitter and also on YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube page, The JP Peterson Show, please. And anywhere now at 102.5, you can listen to us live, or what is that, the Bone website as well?
Yeah. Sorry, theboneonline.com.
Boneonline.com. There you go. To hit the lightning strike button. All right, we'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody. Go Bolts.